Is Tony Khan about ready to shake up the world of professional wrestling? Hello, everybody. This is John, and this is WrestleScope Weekly for Saturday, February 27th. Hope you are all having a great final weekend of February. It's been an exciting week of wrestling this past week, and we got a lot to talk about. Going to be very AEW centered. And before I get to this story, first of all, what I want to do, unfortunately, we have to open up the show with some sad news. If you had not heard, you may not recognize this gentleman right here, but this is Joseph Hudson, better known to NWA wrestling fans as Jocephus, but also the man under the mask, QuestionMark. Unfortunately, Joseph Hudson, just a few days ago, passed away from a undisclosed illness suddenly. It was posted by the National Wrestling Alliance, by Thunder Rosa, by Nick Aldis, and many others that worked with Jocephus, QuestionMark, in the NWA. Before everything ended up shutting down, he was actually one of the most popular characters on NWA Power before they ended up shutting things down last March because of COVID. And haven't really seen much of him, of anything. It's a few things of him over the course of the last year when NWA was posting some things, but he passed away suddenly just a few days ago. So our condolences to Joseph Hudson's family, to his friends, his colleagues in the National Wrestling Alliance, and anybody that ever came in contact with him. Just another tragic loss at way too young of an age in the world of professional wrestling. Speaking of the National Wrestling Alliance, this is breaking news as of this afternoon. It was posted on WrestleTalk's website that the National Wrestling Alliance, all of their YouTube content is gone. If you go to their YouTube channel, as of, I'm recording this at 4:25 Central Time on Saturday, it is empty. There is no content at all, anything, power, nothing else on the NWA website. Not exactly sure what is happening. I have taken the effort, being a wrestling journalist, and I put that in air quotes for those of you that are listening to the podcast here, wherever you may be listening to it. I have sent a tweet out to Billy Corgan. Will he respond to me? Probably not, because he doesn't know me and I'm not a big enough talent. But hopefully somebody within the wrestling world will be able to get a hold of Billy Corgan and find out exactly what is happening. NWA, probably the biggest organization to really take be hugely affected by what is happening with COVID-19 and the shutdowns. They were doing so well with Power. Ended up having to shut things down. They did a few things over the summer and fall last year as things started opening up. It looked like they were kind of going to get back to getting things going again, and that is no longer the case. Now this happens. I'm not exactly sure what this means for the National Wrestling Alliance. I was really enjoying their programming going into and through the first quarter of 2020. I loved what they were doing with Power, some of the talent they have, but obviously with not being able to do shows, they've lost quite a bit of their talent. Ricky Starks going over to AEW, Eli Drake, now LA Knight in NXT. You've got Serena Deeb, who's the NWA women's champion. She's been doing a lot in AEW. Thunder Rosa. It's been difficult for them. So all I know is that this was literally minutes before I went live here, or before I started recording here, that I saw that the NWA is not, they don't have any content on their YouTube channel. And actually right now, I'm looking at Twitter, 411 Wrestling has posted something now. As of today, it's not known why they've decided to remove the video footage. They've been on hiatus since last spring due to COVID-19. Did briefly come back in December with Shockwave. They've lost Eli Drake, James Storm, Zicky Dice, Marty Bell, Royce Isaacs. They've all gone elsewhere. Thunder Rosa and Serena Deeb have been on AEW, as mentioned. Billy Corgan has said that the promotion is not dead. That Power would be back soon, but that was a message that he had put out last September. So What's happening? We don't know. As I get more information, I will post it for you. I will get it to you. If you follow me on TikTok, that's where I put most of my updates. So that's it for the breaking news. Now, let's go back to kind of the main meat of the story here. Tony Khan, the AEW president, has been he's been very vocal. I mean, he's been very vocal out in public with a lot of things, and obviously this has been kind of a big week for AEW. A couple of months ago, they signed Sting out of the blue. Nobody saw that one coming. The Stinger going to AEW, and he's going to be in a big match with the TNT champion Darby Allin at Revolution coming up in 8 days. It's coming up in 8 days, taking on Team Taz members Brian Cage and former NWA wrestler Ricky Starks. That's going to be huge. But this week, in something that literally shocked everybody in the wrestling world, everybody that I follow, all the big news people, everybody else, was floored when the word went out about Paul Wight, WWE's Big Show, signing with All Elite Wrestling. And I was one of the people that, when I first saw this graphic, I thought, oh, somebody's having fun again. It's one of these goofy ones, whatever. And I scrolled around on Twitter real quick. I'm like, holy crap, this really happened. And I was at my day job. I was at work. I literally stopped what I was doing for 10 minutes because I had to scramble around trying to find things. Nobody had posted anything on YouTube at that point in time. The press release had gone out like 10 minutes earlier. Everybody was scrambling. I threw something out on YouTube real fast. And yeah, this is a biggie. Paul Wight, if you've been living under a rock and haven't been paying attention, Paul Wight, formerly known as the Big Show in WWE, he signed a long-term deal. I've heard 3 years, but no exact details on it are available right now. But he signed a long-term deal to not only be a wrestler, he will wrestle, but he's also going to be a commentator for the brand new AE Dark Elevation, which is going to be premiering on Monday, March 15th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on AEW's YouTube channel. So that's going to be coming up. He's going to be the lead commentator along with Tony Schiavone. So they're going to be working together for the first time in 20 years. I'm excited to see this brand new show. Don't know if it's going to be an hour or 2 hours. I'm speculating it's going to be an hour-long show because Dark is already, plus 2 hours. And this is going to be another outlet for them to be able to spotlight some up-and-coming wrestlers, some new wrestlers. Maybe they're going to take Dark and turn that into something a little bit different. I've really been enjoying what AEW Dark has been doing. Some of the matches I could do without, but it's nice having something where you can fast forward through it if it's people that you really don't want to watch, which I'm not going to mention any names on here because I don't want to be calling out people and I don't want people jumping on me about why don't you like this person. But Paul Wight, I think this is an absolute fantastic signing for AEW for a couple of reasons. One, you've got a very charismatic, experienced individual in Paul Wight who is in the best physical shape of his life, even though he's 49 years old. He can still go. He can have great serious matches. He can have comedic matches. He can do whatever. He brings a wealth of knowledge, well over 2 decades of wrestling knowledge from working way back in the day, back in WCW. Don't forget, his very first big-time match, his debut match in WCW was for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship against Hulk Hogan in a really, really bad feud. Anybody remember that terrible monster truck match? I remember that. I remember watching it. Then he comes over to WWE and his debut where he ripped down the cage, and people have been saying, oh, he was never Paul Wight in WWE. Yes, his very first appearance, I believe it was Jim Ross that was on the commentary, screamed out, oh my God, it's Paul Wight, because they couldn't call him the Giant, and they didn't have the Big Show name for him yet. Great career, multi-time World Heavyweight Champion in WWE, and now he's going to bring his wealth of knowledge into AEW. I think this is going to be great. He's really good on the mic, and it's going to be fun. Could anybody else be joining the Big Show? Anybody else previously from WWE possibly joining Paul Wight in AEW? Well, if Tony Khan gets his way, he's very interested in the former Zelina Vega. Thea Trinidad was released back in December, I believe it was, late November, early December from WWE. She was fired because, well, she kept her third-party platforms, and WWE didn't like it, and she was very outspoken about unionizing wrestlers, so they kicked her to the curb in a move that shocked a lot of people, that upset quite a few people, and she's been sitting out her 90-day no-compete clause, doing a lot of stuff on her social media, doing a ton on Twitch, which I enjoy watching her Twitch channel. She's very entertaining to watch. And her 90-day no-compete has wrapped up somewhere here, maybe earlier this week, could be next week, but it's most likely going to be done before Revolution next week, Sunday. And Tony Khan has said he would love to have Thea Trinidad in AEW. I see her making an appearance. If that 90-day no-compete is over, Thea Trinidad will be at AEW Revolution. And the way I'd like to see it happen, she needs to be the manager for Proud and Powerful. She needs to be the manager for Santana and Ortiz. Have them split off from the Inner Circle. Let them go on their own, especially if Jericho and MJF end up winning the tag team titles. Or, you know what? You don't have her debut at Revolution. You have her debut at Dynamite on March 10th. As you see, there being a conflict between Santana and Ortiz, who are the proven tag team in the Inner Circle, and then Jericho and MJF, who, well, they're probably going to win the tag titles. Have her come in and be the catalyst for them to split off. I would love to see this happen. She is so great on the microphone. I tweeted this a couple of days ago that she was, during the early days of the COVID broadcasts, at the Performance Center for WWE, for Raw, before they went to the Thunderdome, it was her work that really made Raw shine for the better part of 2 months. And WWE really dropped the ball by losing her as a talent. And AEW can really, really do some amazing things with her on board. Not only being a manager, but she's a good wrestler too. She can go in the ring. I can imagine just with the talent that AEW has in their women's division, some of the matches that she could be involved in. I think it's going to be absolutely fantastic. But going back to what I was saying about Tony Khan, he has said that there's going to be old faces and new faces showing up at AEW Dynamite, which means we'll probably see a few, at least a couple, coming up at Revolution, which is, again, in 8 days. You've got the Casino Royale Tag Team Battle Royal match, where a number one contendership spot, a future tag team title shot is on the line, and supposedly there is a spot open there for a team that has not been announced. And then you have I don't even remember what the name of it is right now, but the Face of the Revolution ladder match to crown a number one contender for the TNT Championship. There's going to be 6 men in that match. 5 are, by the time we get through Dynamite on Wednesday night, 5 will be announced. There will be 1 additional spot that person will show up at Revolution. Who is it going to be? No, it's not going to be CM Punk. CM Punk would not come in for a 6-man ladder match to be the number one contender for AEW's mid-card championship. Not going to happen. I jokingly messaged Alex McCarthy and Louis Dangor from Wrestling Daily And I said it's going to be Ryback. I don't think it's going to be Ryback, but holy crap, if he ends up showing up and is in that ladder match next Sunday, I am going to look like a wrestling god. Sorry, JBL. I definitely will, but it won't be him. Early rumble from people is it's going to be Ethan Page because he was done. Obviously, he was done last month with Impact Wrestling. He's a free agent. He can go wherever he wants. He'd be a good addition. He'd be a really nice addition to kind of that mid-card scene for AEW. I don't know. Maybe some more rumors will float around this week. We shall see. Excuse me, but I got a feeling there's going to be some big things coming out of Revolution. Speaking of Revolution, you've got the main event, which everybody is talking about. Obviously, it is going to be the barbed wire death match, the exploding barbed wire death match between Jon Moxley and the AEW champion Kenny Omega. And a spoiler here, if you haven't read, if you haven't heard, if you haven't seen, New Japan Pro Wrestling had their Strong event yesterday, and Jon Moxley was defending his United States Heavyweight Championship against the number one contender Kenta, and in about 15 minutes he was able to defeat Kenta and maintain his belt, which actually shocked me. I actually thought Moxley was going to lose, because early prediction here, I'm going to do my Revolution predictions later next week. I believe Jon Moxley is going to lose this match. It's going to be brutal. It's going to be ugly. And he will be off TV for a little while because his wife, Renee Paquette, is pregnant. She's about, I think she had posted the other day that she's 26, 27 weeks pregnant. So she's still got 3 months to go. Which would mean, if I'm right, if Moxley does take time off, we're looking at potentially 4 to 5 months for him being off, because I believe if the math works out right, if she's 27 weeks now, she's got about 3 months left, which puts her to the beginning of June, which means Moxley would be out until August. Could we see a big return for Mox going into the big show at the beginning of September? Would he really take 6 months off? I don't know. Would New Japan allow him to not wrestle that long with that title? I don't think so. So my initial thought of Jon Moxley being taken out during this match, I don't think it's going to happen. I think he'll still be around for another month or so. After this match, he's going to end up having to drop his New Japan Pro Wrestling title, his IWGP title, at some point in time here before Renee has the baby, I would guess. But then again, who knows? I really don't know at this point in time. It's anybody's guess. It really is. Speaking of guesses, how do you like that for a segue? Speaking of guesses, let's switch gears and head on over to NXT, and talk about Adam Cole. And boy, I'll tell you, I love heel Adam Cole. I really do. He was good as a babyface, kind of, but he's so much better as a heel. He really is. And this week we saw just how good Adam Cole is. He finally came out and said, yeah, I'm going to come out and explain myself this week at the end of NXT. And he did. He came out to the ring and he got very emotional. He was apologizing. He didn't know why he did what he did. He felt terrible for it. He was apologizing to Kyle O'Reilly, who is on the shelf for 4 to 6 weeks due to the injury suffered because of Adam Cole. And Roddy Strong comes out and basically tells him, I don't believe you. I don't believe you. You broke us up. You did this. Roderick Strong is not very good on the mic. I'm sorry. Good wrestler, not very good on the mic. So he basically calls out Adam Cole on it. Then Finn Balor comes out. And Finn Balor had every right to come out because, Adam Cole, he knocked his teeth down his throat with a super kick last week. Roddy goes to beat up Finn Balor. They go back and forth. It ends up being Adam and Roddy in the ring, and Adam is just distraught. He's crying, he's distraught, he's apologizing. Roddy's telling him he loves him, we're brothers, I love you. They hug in the ring, and then Adam Cole goes full heel and wham! Right into the family jewels. And basically calls Roddy stupid. I love this. I absolutely love this. I hate to see the Undisputed Era break up because I really wanted to see them healthy at full strength and come up together to the main roster. But obviously those are not the plans. Adam Cole is going to come up on his own. Kyle O'Reilly will become the number one babyface. And who knows what ends up happening with Roddy and with Bobby Fish. Undisputed Era on the main roster probably would have gotten ruined anyways. But I can't wait for, whether it's next week or in a couple weeks, Adam Cole finally comes out and says, you want to know why I did what I did? Because Kyle, you befriended the guy that we should be taking out. That title that Finn Balor is holding belongs to the Undisputed Era. It should not be around his waist. And the fact that you're trying to help him be his friend when we should be taking him out, that's why I did what I did. To get a point across that, Adam Cole is about the NXT Championship. Adam Cole is the NXT Championship. I'm really hoping that this is going to be leading up to a fatal four-way match between Balor, Cole, O'Reilly, and Pete Dunne at WrestleMania. These four guys deserve it. They deserve to be on that stage with the spotlight on them, because they have all looked absolutely phenomenal over the last few months. And yes, if Pete Dunne is involved in this, yes, that means we have to have that idiot punter, Pat McAfee, running his mouth more. And honestly, I want him to shut up. Okay? I don't like Pat McAfee. I don't listen to his show. I think he's a hack. And I don't want him on my NXT TV anymore. Go and do your podcast, your radio show, whatever it is. Go play with your friends, whatever you're doing. Stay off my NXT TV, please. But I know if Pete Dunne's going to be involved, he'll be involved because he's got to be the mouthpiece and everything, but whatever. But I really like this. Wednesday nights, the last month or so, I have loved Wednesday Night Wrestling. Both shows have been really good. They're drawing over 1.5 million fans every Wednesday night between the two shows. I think that number is going to grow exponentially this week for AEW with Shaq being in the ring. That's going to bring in a lot of outside eyes. They are definitely hands down going to win the night Wednesday night. But this could potentially be the first week that we have over a combined 2 million viewers in the United States watching Wednesday Night Wrestling, which would be huge. If NXT can somehow maintain that 700 to 750,000, I can see AEW drawing well over 1 million this week. That would be huge for both shows if they draw those kind of numbers. I'm really excited to end up seeing what happens with that. I don't really have anything else. I could talk about Raw. I could talk about Miz and Bobby Lashley. I'm going to do something a little bit different. I don't want to talk about it right now because I don't know what direction WWE is going. There's a lot of us that are thinking Lashley is going to win the title on Monday night, or there's going to be a triple threat at Fastlane, Miz defending against Lashley and Drew McIntyre, and Lashley wins there, and he goes on to face Drew at WrestleMania. I've got this sneaking suspicion that WWE is going to swerve us And Miz is going to hold on to that title until WrestleMania. Now that completely throws out everything with Miz and Morrison taking on Damian Priest and Bad Bunny. But right now, it appears John Morrison actually suffered a legit knee injury on Monday night in his match with Matt Riddle. If that's the case, how long is Morrison on the shelf? Hopefully it's nothing too serious and he'll be back after Fastlane. But if it is something that potentially could take him out of WrestleMania, that really changes a lot of plans. And I have said this, I threw this out on Alex McCarthy's Wrestling Daily this past Friday, or actually it was on Thursday, when Steph Chase was appearing there, which, let me give a quick plug. Stephanie Chase, the Miss Dynamite, she is the big AEW podcaster, YouTuber. Please go give her a follow at Stephanie Chase. She's got a full week of AEW material coming up this week, leading into Revolution. Please go give her a subscribe. Check out what she's going to be doing. She does a fantastic job with everything she does with AEW, talking about all those great things. So please head on over to her channel this coming week and take a look at what she's got. But I believe, depending on what AEW pulls coming up at Revolution, and just in the next couple of weeks, whatever Tony Khan ends up pulling out of his bag of tricks, which I think he's going to have a few amazing things, it's going to force WWE to make some major changes to WrestleMania, and I believe one of the main events could actually change based on what happens in AEW in the next 2 to 3 weeks. That's just my thought. Share your thoughts with me. I haven't mentioned them, and I apologize. I need to thank my partner and sponsor, Iron Jock. That's right, Iron Jock Performance Gear. Absolutely fantastic gear. Love their stuff. Please go check them out at ironjoc.com. They've got just amazing products that are revolutionizing the workout wear, the athletic wear world with so many new things. Silver ion infused hats and underwear and shorts and pants and hoodies and long sleeve shirts and t-shirts, just a lot of great performance gear. Check them out at ironjoc.com, and they're going to be rolling out some golf gear in the next couple of weeks. I'm excited for that. I'm going to have a lot of content coming up this week on all of my different channels. Please, if you're on the YouTube, you can see me pointing right now. Follow me on all my social media at WrestleScope TV on TikTok, at TV_Wrestle on Twitter, at WrestleScope on Instagram, and please smash that subscribe button, like this video, because it really helps when you like the videos. It really helps with the algorithm here in YouTube. It will share it with other people that are like-minded like you, that are watching this and enjoying the content. Also, set the notification so you find out when any new material comes up. Going to be rolling out some new things. Actually rolled out the brand new camera, which I think already looks better. It's not auto-focusing weird and everything else. And I'm working on a few new things as well. Hopefully going to have a new backdrop. Sorry, Alexa Bliss, you're going to get replaced. And sorry, Belts, you're going to get replaced as well. Thank you also to my podcast listeners. You guys are awesome. Thank you for all the downloads and the listens on whatever platform you are listening to the WrestleScope podcast. But definitely go to my TikTok channel. That's where I post the great majority of my updates, is right there. Daily updates on different things, breaking news there, my thoughts and opinions, always on TikTok. So thank you very much. This is a little bit of a shorter one today, but hey, have a great Saturday. I'm going to try staying up to date on this NWA YouTube news, whatever's going on with that. We'll get you some updates as best as I can. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning into WrestleScope. I am John. Enjoy some wrestling. Hey, don't forget also, AEW on Bleacher Report tomorrow night. We finally get to see the Thunder Rosa Riho match. We get to see the finals of the Japanese side of the Women's Eliminator Tournament and a great 6-woman tag team match, all for free on Bleacher Report, 6 p.m. Central Time, I believe, on BleacherReport.com Sunday night, so definitely go check that out. I will be on, you know what, I may actually do something tomorrow night to talk about that, and a big question I have for AEW of kind of a plot hole they have right now with this Women's Eliminator Tournament. They haven't explained something, and I need to get answers. I am John, this is WrestleScope. Have a great day, everybody.